Peace and blessings, everybody. I am your brother, Juan Carlos X at Slatestone Music. Welcome to the Plug Room, where you can plug your business, plug your brand. At the Plug Room, we are all about community development, which is building people and linking people with people. If you find value in the stream on whatever platform you may be watching it on, leave us a comment, let us know. Visit theplugroom.com. Also, if you know someone who deserves to be in the Plug Room or has value to share, text the word network to 559-791-8468. Again, welcome to the Plug Room, where you can plug your business, plug your brand. Today, we will be building with PowerMediaSolutions, their creative director, Sharon Rooks, who's going to let us know about her journey, their business, their brand, some of the things that they have going in 2022 and how they got started. So without any further delay, let us bring up our guests. Peace and blessings.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Indeed. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. So without any delay, without taking too much time, who is Sharon Rooks? What's PowerMediaSolutions, and what are you known for?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Loaded.
But I'll take a stab at it. I am Sharon Rooks with PowerMediaSolutions, and I am a public relations practitioner, marketing guru. I've been in the industry for about 20 plus years. A little bit about me is people know me as being a strong networker, relationship driven individual, no nonsense. And if you want it told, I'm the one to tell it. That's my tagline, and that's what I do.
Indeed. So what was the genesis of Sharon Rooks in being into the marketing media space? What was your genesis?
Well, actually, what happened in the early 90s, I was an executive director of a nonprofit that I used to have. And I learned very quickly that in order for a nonprofit to be sustainable and to really make an impact, you had to have really strong networking skill sets. And so I got into that space and I really enjoyed it. And so, for me, coming from a former educator, knowing a lot of children and in schools and parents and just community people, um, I, I started doing this networking thing, and it was great. It was very beneficial. And some of my business colleagues, they were launching their businesses and they were struggling with marketing. And I was telling them all this stuff that they needed to do. And I took about four of my friends and I helped them. And it was just a hobby then. And so actually one of them said, "Hey, you need to do this for a business because I could never do that or get to that journey without you helping me do this." And I was like, and I really enjoyed it. And so that was the first genesis of PowerMediaSolutions. I had no name at all. I was just doing it. And it stuck. They said, if you want it told, she's the one to tell it. And I said, you know what? That is me. And so that's been my tagline ever since. If you want it told, I'm the one to tell it. And I started that. I did it for 3 years. And no, I didn't charge anybody. And I build my brand and start building the business and how to do things, the protocol, all of the things dealing with public relations, marketing, and media. And then I gradually started getting my certifications and things of that nature to support and provide me with the credentials to, be who I say I am. And so that's how that started. And it's been flowing ever since.
Indeed. Now, what interests me out of what you just said, or the questions that come to mind, is doing it for free.
Yes.
You did it for free for about 3 years.
Yes.
And then that grew into, I'm saying, now you have a service. You were valuable. Yes. You had value. Yes. You did it. You gave out your services, established that you were valuable. Yes. And then you created your price or your price yes. point or whatever that was. Yes. My question to you was, how was that transition for the people that knew you to do it for free without having the certifications, knowing that you were valuable? How was the transition for you in charging now from going from free to charging?
Sure. The transition wasn't really difficult for me because as I began to transition, those people that I had already serviced for free were my best ambassadors. And so they were a part of that process for soliciting referrals for me that turned into paid opportunities. And so that's kind of how that segued into that. But those people that I helped for free, they were my best supporters and advocates and things, for me. And right now today, they still do that. So they knew and they could speak to the service that I provided because they experienced it, they benefited from it. And so they could speak to that value and the work ethic behind it. And so that's, how that was done. And it wasn't really difficult at all. Now I'm at a place in my business now. I have a team that I can be more selective and not discriminatory, not saying that, but more selective about the projects in which I, take on for Power Media Solutions because it needs to represent who I am and who my team is.
Indeed. Now, how did you come about the name of Power Media Solutions?
Power Media Solutions is a derivative from another part of who Sharon is. I have several power brands: the Power Complex, Power Property Management, Power Media Solutions. Everything is about power. And power stands for Professional Outstanding Women Engaging in Redevelopment. That's what power stands for. So anything that I put my hands to is going to have some form of power intertwined into it. The Tell It Now PR conference has a power connection with it as well. So yeah, that's where power comes from.
No doubt. Now, out of the several businesses that you mentioned just now,
Mhm.
the media, I think you mentioned something to deal with real estate and like
Yes. Yes.
properties and
That's
some
correct.
others. So you have several businesses. What made you, or what was the motivating factor that made you stay with the media solution and choose that lane when you could have been a doctor, or you could have did radio, or you could have did other things that you may have skills in? What made you stick with this?
Public relations and marketing it's a core, it's who I am. And I often tell people, you should, whatever your business is, it should align with who you are. I'm about relationships. Business, can't get rid of it. It's in me. It was in me from a young age. Public relations is relationships. Business is who I am. Marketing is what I do. So it just it makes sense. It fits. It's not Sharon trying to be a used car salesman. That won't fit. So all of the relationships that I have garnered over the past 20 something years, those relationships and connections are still yielding return even to this day. And so that's what's important. And I often tell people, if you see me starting a restaurant, pull my coattail and tell me I'm out of line because that does not fit in the scope and the thread of who I am. And that means I'm just doing stuff that's not aligned with who I am. So,
That's powerful.
yeah.
So you've been in the business. I believe you said you started doing this in the 90s.
Yes.
So you've been in it for a few decades,
Yes.
easily. What
And
is
got the
your
scars to prove it.
right? 5 stars, right? What is your why? Why do you do what you do on a on a daily basis overall? What would you say your why is?
My why is to see other entrepreneurs get to a level that they are trying to reach. Sometimes people just need a little bit of help and they don't know exactly what they need, but they know they need some help. And coming from a place of not having and not understanding, not having the financial wherewithal, you have to learn how to do things. And once you learn, you understand, oh, so this is a byproduct of being an entrepreneur. You have to have income. Hmm. Okay. You have to understand and have a budget. You can't just say I'm a business owner and I'm an entrepreneur because it sounds really, really cool. That's not what this is. This is not a cool thing. And I believe, and I can, this is just, I believe people are in love and infatuated with the concept of being an entrepreneur, but they really don't understand the work you have to put in to be an entrepreneur.
All right.
Many people don't want to take a risk. They don't want to um, work another job. They don't want to work a gig. They don't want to do a side contract. They don't want to do any of that. They just want you to continuously try to make them whole, and they do nothing. And that's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way,
No.
and what you said is definitely relevant today in 2022 because even before pre-pandemic, but now we've seen a lot of podcasts. Even mine was birthed out of the pandemic, although I was in the interview business realm for a couple decades. But I'm just saying we see a lot of people take on the entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm an entrepreneur. We see it online.
Yes.
But then it's like, okay, well, what is your brand? What value do you bring?
Yes.
What risk are you taking? Do you have financial backing to be that?
Yes.
Like you said, because it's easy to say I'm an entrepreneur and then be like, oh, I'm selling shirts, which is not a knock, but are you investing in the shirts? What are your sources?
Exactly.
Your overhead, your bottom line.
Exactly.
And so it's easy for people just to put on the title is all I'm saying. But then once they actually get to the work and seeing what it takes to get into it, it's like, that's not for me.
Right.
Which is not a problem. It's not for everybody.
No, it's not for everyone. And I encourage those people when they come to me, I take them through a boot camp, and it's intensive, and it's done that way intentionally, because what you don't want to do is to jump out in this lane and you're pretending and you are unable to produce. That will hurt your brand worse than anything, is when you jump out and you're unable to produce. Because the people who know, they're going to test you. And so if you're unable to produce and bring it, they're going to know and they're going to tell people. And that's what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs. Their brand becomes diminished because people find out that they really don't know what they say they are claiming that they know. And that's a problem. And so I try to, get them before that happens. Count up the cost. Be serious. Be willing to do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, let it go. Be the financer. Maybe back somebody. Be an investor. Be a participant. But don't be the face.
Right. Good answer, or good information, good advice. My question to you is, since you've been doing it for years, since the 90s till now, of course, the channels and the way that marketing is handled has changed and evolved.
Yes.
We have a lot of social media. We have a lot of pay for play, with your numbers and metrics now. You know what I mean? Especially online. We have these cell phone devices. Everybody's connected on a social platform or using a device that's connected to the internet.
Exactly.
So with all those things, my question to you is, how has that been a challenge for you? It's a two-part question. How has that been a challenge for you, if any, in transitioning to now with those things in place? And the second part is, do you run into issues with certain people that come to you for services, but then you say, well, I can get your brand seen here, 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 and here, and these are our channels. And they're like, well, I can pay for Facebook ads. I can pay for, do you run into that? And what's your response to that, if so?
The industry has changed. And what Power Media Solutions has done is we have grown with the technology over years because we try to stay ahead of things. So once you perfect various marketing methods, you don't stop doing those things. You just continuously build. Digital marketing has been my second top highest service that we offer. And as a digital buyer, people think that, oh, I can do that. Just what you said, I can do that. I can do that. No, you can't do that because you can't be at the service station pumping your gas and see your ad at the pump. You don't have the capabilities of doing that. And they don't, I was like, you don't have those capabilities. You're not able to do that. So my director, Carmen, handles all of that and she's great at it. But that's been one of the top sellers for Power Media Solutions. And we don't just do that one service. We still incorporate all the other methods of marketing, your social media management. You have your digital billboards. You have your poster billboards. You advertise in the movie theaters on the screens before the movie show. We do all of that kind of stuff. Handbills, they're still relevant. People still do the handbills and pass those things out. The flyers still work. You use a bunch of different methods, the TV, the radio. But what I have seen now is, like you said, people will come and they'll say, I can do that. I don't want to pay for that. I'm not gonna stop my service just because it doesn't work for you. I know that it works because Power Media Solution also uses those same services for their business.
Right. This is how we got this
I'm
here.
a user, okay?
Right.
I am a user of what I sell. So and it works for me. It works for Power. It works for the other brands that I have. So, that just doesn't make any sense. But people do it.
Yeah.
They do it and they don't understand it. And that's one of the things that I know is like the top thing. What people don't understand, they shy away from, or they say they don't need. They say that because they don't understand. Prime example with your website. You'll have a person who did their website themselves years ago. Times have changed. It needs to be upgraded and updated and all that kind of stuff. And they'll have that pushback and not understanding. That's your first line. That's your first store. So when people come into your first store and it's still looking like it's 1999 and this is 2022, then in their mind, if you haven't taken the time to develop you and put the work in to make you better, why would I want to do business with you?
Right.
So.
Or showing up to the store and the lights are off, or
exactly
showing up and there's no product in there. Oh, it's coming soon,
Yes. Yes. And one of my favorites, you build your website and you build it based on your specifications. Are you buying from you?
Right.
No. Your website is not for you. It's for the consumer.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, get people to, change their mind and understand that. And it's like that because they've been doing so many things. They're wearing all the hats in the business. And that is good and it's not good. You can wear the hats, but you need to learn when you have to delegate and hire people and let them do what they do. Because if you got to promote the business, work the business, sell the business, and then do the business is on you.
Right. Right. What makes Power Media Solutions unique?
What makes Power Media Solutions unique? What makes us unique is that we deal with the small to mid-sized entrepreneurs at that level. Most PR firms don't even want to deal with them because they have not been in business long. They don't understand budget requirements and things of that nature. Well, Power Media Solutions is trying to develop and teach business owners those things. So maybe you can come to me for a consultation and I can educate you, and then you come back and you get services later on. So I don't do away with people. And I know that's one of our benefits in, as I say, niche markets, because we do that. We want to talk to the small and the medium sized business. That's what
Indeed.
makes us different.
Indeed. And these next questions, there's next couple of questions I'm sure you've kind of touched on, but maybe you can expound on it. What value does Power Media Solutions bring the industry?
Sure. I can speak to that a lot. I have worked with the entertainment space in Memphis for many years, and Power Media Solutions has been a part of that process of bringing celebrities through the city. And so when I'm able to put my hands in the mix of that, it is only building and enhancing the brand. One of the things I try to explain to people is when you look back and when a company or a PR firm says that they have been a part of something and they did an event or they were associated with a project and so on, there should be some proof to that. And with that proof comes credibility. And so that value has helped me a lot because people from Albuquerque, New Mexico, buying, things from the Power Complex. They're buying shirts. Well, how did they find out about Sharon Rooks? Simply a flyer or a press release, something that happened. And I was connected to it, and you saw the work that was done. Oh, let's see what else she does. That's how that happens. Um, so that's the value in what we bring, because people can contact me. They know how to find me, and they know, hey, she knows somebody who knows somebody. It just happened this morning, 6 something this morning. Somebody sends a text message and says, hey, I need da 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 da. And I know you know everybody. Can you help me? I said, give me a call. And I was able to talk for a few minutes, and I was able to provide some referrals and some direct contacts and send a couple of emails and make an introduction all before 8 o'clock this morning.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the value, is that people know that they can call on you and you can assist them, and they'll come back later and they'll get some services and get some other things. But you should be the number one person or resource that they reach out to, because you are so intertwined in that space.
Right. Now you mentioned one solution. You mentioned a few of them that I caught on to. One of the solutions you mentioned that you provide is educating your
Yes.
clientele or customers that utilize your service. You educate
Yes.
them on how they can better their business and what you're doing and what they can do to help themselves.
Right.
My question is, what is another solution that Power Media Solutions provide?
Sure. We have the Tell It Now PR conference, which is the only one in, I know, Mississippi, Arkansas, that's around. Most people, especially in PR and marketing, they don't want to have a conference because they feel like, oh, if I have a conference, I'm going to tell them everything and they won't need me. That is not my pullback at all. I believe that the public relations and marketing component is missing from business. And the reason why it's missing is because there's a level of fear. I don't have any fear of that. The lack of business acumen is hurting so many businesses. And I can give you an example. A company hires a PR firm, and The PR firm has a protocol, they have a strategy that's set out for the company and for the client. Hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we do it, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and so on, and this is how it goes, and we're going to get you to this point. Well, the client, because there's a lack of business acumen, he or she may not understand. You don't contact the media and you've been in business all of 1 year and you have no projects and you have no nothing. Okay.
Right.
Well, that's why the public relations and marketing conference is important, because it teaches the protocol. And when people don't understand the protocol in public relations and marketing and dealing with the media, oftentimes the media will blackball them or red flag them because they don't understand protocol. So if they see something that comes across the wire, they won't read it because you operated outside of the protocol in the past. So that is an additional component of what we're doing. And not only are we doing the Tell It Now PR Marketing Conference, we're going to be giving away $5,000 worth of services for 1 full year for business. $5,000. So you're getting your digital, your graphics, your public relations, your consulting, your coaching from me. You're going to be under my tutelage for a whole year. Your legal stuff. We need to make sure you're set up correctly. I mean, just anything that you can think of with business, we're going to provide it. You're getting your free branding, all of that. Website audit, if it needs to be redone or whatever, we're going to do it. We're going to do your press releases. We're going to set you up really good. There is not a PR firm that is offering and giving away $5,000 of in-kind services for 1 year. There is none, and I know there isn't. But it's needed and it's necessary. Because if I can help one business be successful and help them get their foundation together, they're going to be one of my best ambassadors for a lifetime.
Indeed. Needed and necessary, two important words that you mentioned. Now, you mentioned also giving back in the way or form of a conference and education.
Yes.
You also mentioned giving back via services. You mentioned the $5,000 package. What are other ways that Power Media Solutions gives back to the community?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked about that. Power Media Solution does sponsor, and you'll see our name in some things that we do sponsor. I try to commit between $12,000 and $15,000 a year to do sponsorships and supporting women and film, arts, that kind of stuff, business, all of that. That's my flow. That's my lane. Re-entry. I'm very involved in re-entry and returning citizens and justice impacted individuals. So all of those things are my sweet spot. And so that's another form in which I give back and also try to educate other businesses why they should sponsor, because they don't have a clue. I'm like, that's part of your business. That should be part of your business and part of your budget, that you do that. Even if you can't do it financially, you need to be willing to do something in kind. So, buy $500 worth of water or something and slap your label on it and donate it or do something. But we do that with Power Media Solutions. So we do sponsor. We look for those opportunities, and they have been very beneficial to us. So that's important. And we do in-kind sponsorships as well. I'm actually getting ready for one this weekend. So yeah, getting ready for one this weekend that I'm doing. So I just believe in it, and just do what you can, because if you're always wanting to be the person to receive and not to give back, that's problematic to me if I'm working with you, because that's just not how life is. If you've been fortunate, you need to bless people. You need to do something.
Right.
I have another program where I pay utility bills, and I don't talk about that often. And a lot of people don't know that I do that, but I do. And so Sharon Rooks does a lot of stuff, and you may not find out about it all. You may have to wait until I'm caught up and I'm gone.
Right.
And that little dash and say she was doing all of that.
Right.
And
And
some
still,
things I want to be anonymous on, for certain reasons, but I just believe in you need to give back and be what you say you are. And I've always been a servant, kind-hearted individual, and I'm not going to stop now because I know that I am in a different place, in a different space. Um, and too much is given, much is required, and I
right.
believe that. hmm
Right. A few more questions and then we'll end this plug room.
Sure.
Are you currently hiring or taking internships at Power Media Solutions? And if so, how would they get in contact with you?
I have an intern who is wonderful, and I just hired her. It's been 4 months now. Brittany is amazing. So that position is filled right now, and I don't think she's planning on going anywhere. She's having a good time at Power Media Solutions. Maybe in the spring or fall of next year, I may be looking for some opportunities, and I'll definitely put out an ad on Indeed, or to be on the website. But that's where we are right now. We're in a good place.
That is a good place to be.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to you kind of mentioned, we touched on this, I guess you can say briefly. When it comes to keeping Power Media Solutions unique and separate from other PR firms or
hmm
media outlet companies, how do you go about doing that, keeping yourself separate and unique from the thousands of other PR firms out there that I could solicit or someone could solicit or utilize?
Sure. I can definitely talk about that. Power Media Solutions offers so many services. We do, staffing, event coordination. It's so many services that we provide. We do some customization. Um, we have the podcast that we launched in August, and that's going pretty good. Jumpstart Your Business Network. And so I have a host that does that, Levita McCoo, world famous. I'm not on the radio. That's not my gift. That's not my lane. I'll come on when she tells me to, but I let people do what they do, and that's what she does. And it's another form of exposure for our clients that we serve, because now you have a radio platform to talk about your business and do all that stuff. Um, Most PR firms, they're not trying to do that either. Again, and then we have a print publication partner as well. So I'm the publicist for Bluff City Magazine. And so there's another opportunity again. You have a PR firm that has the radio, you have the print side of that. I'm not trying to start a magazine, not my lane. However, I'm connected with a print publication that my clients may need. So there's so many different opportunities. And then the conference, the podcast, the print publication, and just the other services that we offer. We're not going to ever be in competition with another PR firm because they don't understand where it starts. They're not even going to talk to you if you're not at a certain level. Me, on the other hand, I want to talk to those people so that I can bring them up. So,
Indeed. My last two questions. This question is, how has Power Media Solutions impacted the industry and or the clients, or one specific situation where you impacted someone that you can
oh,
share with us?
yes, I can. Oh, it's so many stories. Okay, I can take you. About 4 years ago, I was working a contract. It was a business contract for a nonprofit. And my role was serve as the coordinator to teach the business course. And in the midst of that, the entrepreneurs who attended the class had to develop a feasibility plan commit to $1,000. And if they had a great feasibility plan, meaning that the business was viable and they could make money and all of that kind of stuff, I'd give them $2,000. Well, I remember one individual who was an accountant, worked in corporate, had a boutique. She really wanted to be out on her own. She was doing really, really, really well just on the weekends. So, based on her feasibility plan and what she was doing and putting the work in, I told her, I said, in 3 years, you'll be able to segue and you could actually leave your job and this will be your full time thing. She did it. We still talk right now today. I buy clothes from her shop. She's amazing. But she gave up corporate, did the work, followed the marketing plan and the strategies, and went from being open just on the weekends to now she's open 5 days a week, has her boutique hours. She gave up corporate, just moved, I think, a couple of years ago, bought a big, beautiful home. But she understood budgeting and how to manipulate the marketing in a saturated market. And so she was successful and she sings my praises. And so there are many stories like that,
Right.
that people have. I had over 80 something people in my class, and they were, attorneys, just, I mean, all kinds of people, government folks attending the class. And I gave away a lot of money, more than $50,000.
Right.
If they committed to the 1,000 and the feasibility plan was a go, it was good. And if it wasn't a good one, it wasn't a go. I had to tell them, this is not going to work. This is not a good business. This is not going to work. And there were some people who were crying. They were in tears, and I was like, I understand you're sad, but this is not going to be a viable business. You don't even like people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
Can't be
don't
in the
like,
people business. You don't like people.
right, right. If you don't like people, I just don't think this is going to work for you.
Right.
So that's a no go. That's a hard no.
Right.
So
Easy.
yeah. But those are some stories that I can share, and there are plenty of them. But impacting people's lives, I hear it all the time. I still see you driving through the city. I can see logos that I've done. You see them on a real estate sign. I mean, that just warms my heart when I see that, because that person has elevated. They went from getting their license, having a storefront, not having as many properties, to now having signs throughout the city, so there's growth taking place. So that's pretty cool to be able to see that. And then to see the ones in the media, uh, when they're contacted or something, a press release that I've written that gets picked up nationally, and the interview is secured. That's awesome. And that's the work of what we do in PR. That's the work. That's the work. You have to be able to, write and communicate that and articulate that to the media, and do it and follow the protocols. And when you do that, the media people become your best friends. They reach out to you, want to know what you're working on. And I'm at that level where they reach out.
That's
And
good.
so I don't take that for granted. I don't abuse it. Um, and I keep my name and my reputation clean, and I'll continue to do that. I don't operate in an unethical manner. So those things are important. They're very important, because when
Right.
you get blackballed and your name is mud in the industry, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. So I'm just real particular like that. And all money is not good money. And I'm not chasing any. And I just want to do good quality work. I'm not worried about quantity. I want quality.
Right.
That's what I want.
Indeed. My last question for you is, how important is networking to you and Power Media Solutions?
It's very important. It's a core value, a function that has to be part of the business, because public relations is what did we do?
Yeah.
So networking has to be in there. That doesn't mean that every function that comes up you're supposed to attend. That's not what I'm saying. Our networking that we do is very strategic and methodical, and that's how we plan.
Yes, ma'am. Well, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your value, your journey, and your solutions that you bring for your company and brand. Before we end this plug room, give your shout outs, plug your business, plug your brand, and then we'll go ahead and end it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again. I'm Sharon with Power Media Solutions. And remember, if you want it told, I'm the one to tell it.
Indeed. Well, you have a blessed day, Miss Sharon Rooks at Power Media Solutions. We look forward to working with you all and supporting your brand digitally until we
Thank
get to
you.
the physical realm. But
Yes.
stay sowing good seeds and doing what you do, and we appreciate it.
And thank you for all you do.
Indeed. You have a nice day.
All righty.
Peace. Don't forget to measure yourself to yourself, not to what to others have done. Always strive to be better tomorrow. Do you, be honest, be creative, stay 1000. I am your brother, Juan Carlos X, the plug room, theplugroom.com, where you can plug your business, plug your brand. Peace.